What's good, everybody? It is your born dog Fly K Clutch K 24/7, and we are here giving you guys how to trade in CFM. Now, is I'm using the same tactic that I've been using for quite a while now to try and finagle people of some really good talent that they're not willing to build up that that you can build up and make it easier for yourself. So let's just say that you have a team that doesn't have that much. Let's stay on Dallas. You have a team that doesn't really have that much talent, and you kind of want to build on that spot. You kind of want to build somebody up in that spot. You know that you can do that. Well, let's go to a just lineup. Let's just go ahead and pick out a position that we know that we need. We know that we need. I'm trying to see a good example. Like I don't want to use CD Lamb as an example. Um, let's use Trey. No, let's use somebody like a Deron Bland for an example, right? No, let's actually use Diggs. Diggs because he actually has an ability. If we use a Trayvon Diggs as an example, let's go ahead and check out his age and things of his nature. So you guys see that he's 26. Yeah, superstar, and he gets three abilities. That's somebody that is just gonna he's gonna wreak havoc on somebody's team. You can put him up with all man abilities. You put him up with zone abilities. He can literally do it all. Um, well, he can have a little bit better man, but he's much better as his own guy. It's literally it's up to you how you want to build him up. The way that you would trade a Trayvon Diggs, is for you to trade him for somebody that that could be the same stature as him very, very quickly. So what that means is I've done this tip many a times. But for the people that don't know, you trade for what is the same value that you see for the usage. Um if you see somebody that could be a Trayvon Diggs but he just doesn't have abilities, use him until he has abilities. Um let's just say for example, we go to a team like let's go to the Eagles. Why not? Let's go to the Eagles and you get somebody like a Quinion Mitchell, or you get somebody like a Cooper DeJean, or possibly like a Kelly Ringo. What's kind of uh what kind of relates is that Kelly Ringo's 22, DeJean's 21, Quinion Mitchell is 23. Now the thing that kind of helps you out with this is that Trayvon is getting up there in age. I don't think I want somebody like no. Somebody's gonna want that man. Somebody's gonna want him. Now, one thing that you will do if you go for a trade, you go and you look for the person's goals. And what a goals mean is that this is one thing that a lot of people neglect when it comes to a certain player. You come over here to a Quentin Mitchell, you know that he's a star hitting. Um, you come over here, nobody's gonna look right here at goals. Nobody's looking at that. The first person they're gonna look at is like, oh, okay, he got speed. Oh, okay, he's pretty decent. 94 speed, 6 foot. I like him. What you want for him? Da 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 da. Talk. Okay, cool. I'm not doing that for somebody that's 94 speed. People's only looking at certain people for speed. People's only looking at certain people for what type of for their age. People's only looking for them for that type of stuff. Real stereotypical stuff. People will rather take an ability Trayvon Diggs over Quinion Mitchell just because he got abilities. But some people would only take him. Some people will only take Mitchell because of his speed, and he's a very easy build up because he's a hit and he can go right to superstar in just one game. Um, Let me go over to. Well, yeah, he is a star. So you get somebody now. Let me not use him as an example. Let me use somebody like why not an Eli Ricks? Nobody is going to look at him because of his speed. You see him because of his height. Nobody's going to look at him like that. This is a better example than a Quinion Mitchell because people actually will take Mitchell in a heartbeat. Let's take an Eli Racks for example. You go over here to goals and you go down here and you guys can see you got to get 5 INTs in a season to get 19 XP. 19K XP, 75 tackles to get XP, and then you see 10 deflections in a season. This is fairly easy to get If you're playing man defense, you get a lot of tackles with man defense, or if you keep them in a slot, running the ball, they can get some easy tackles. Even being bounced off still counts as a tackle sometimes. So you can get tackles in the season, you can get INTs in the season, you can get deflections in the season. So if you put that all together, 19, 19, 19, that's pretty much 57K of XP to use for somebody. Um, so when you see somebody like a Eli Ricks that has a lot of XP, you basically put that 57K XP to that 36. Now you're talking about a very big pay up for somebody that you literally got for almost nothing. So let's just say that 57K XP divided by that 3682, and you get yourself 15 upgrades. So that means he will go up to an 80 overall by the time this is all said and done. If you get all those up, and if you pair that up, like if you have a really good season with them 5 INTs, 75 tackles in a season, 10 deflections, you score that extra touchdown. Other things that get you XP, you get a defensive player of the week, you get that a little bit. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and keep stacking those up as well. You get best DB, you add another 10.5K on that. You add defensive player of the year, you add 21K onto that. Now you can get him up to as close to like an 86, 87 X factor for basically almost nothing. So if you do a trade package like this, right? Actually, I'm gonna go back over to Dallas, and I'm gonna see if we can actually get the trade off as a, versus the computer. Um, this will be something that not only will help the other person because they don't have to really build up anybody. People would love to trade off players that they don't have. They'll be like, oh yeah, if I'm getting somebody with ability, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and give you this. He's not worth anything to me. There's a lot of worth in players that you don't know about, and it's very, very easy to let that slip away when you don't know what you're looking at. So let's just say hit 5 years, something like that. This is just for example purposes. Um, you go ahead and hit somebody like an Eli Ricks up, and then you know that you need help in a different spot. Um, you can go over and take up. I'm trying to see what the Eagles will have that the Cowboys would need that we could technically get from them. Don't really look like it would be much. Maybe a Nolan Smith, to help out there, and maybe a Nicole B. Dean. You get this type of a package here, or maybe take out. No, let's give them this package, right? And then you possibly could add like a third. You're probably not missing out on a third. You get a trade package like this for somebody like Trayvon and a pick to get rid of players that's probably going to be their backups. You get younger, and you get something like this to happen. So what this trade does here, yes, you're trading a third round pick and Trayvon Diggs, somebody with abilities, but not only do you get an Eli Ricks that sits here and builds up towards a Trayvon Diggs by the end of the year. Trayvon, so people's going to just have him be like, probably get him up to like a 92, 93, depending on how good of a season he is. Now you also get some depth within the position as well. Now this is a more of a depth trade, depth, DEPTH, depth trade than it is for anything else. So let's just say by the end of the season, you get this Eli Ricks all the way up to that 87, 88 superstar, more X Factor. Now you also have, if we reset the board, now you have this Nolan Smith that you could also build up as well. And you have N'Kobe Dean that you could also build up as well. Because if they generate pressure, they get sacks, and then they can get into that pass deflection. Now you have more than one way to build somebody up. Now you have more than one thing to build up, and now you don't rebuild the team off of one player with extra stuff. So Normally, will anybody do that trade for real? No, not really. But there's certain people in the game that you could actually trade to get very, very good XP out of. And it pretty much works with players that is around 20, 21, 22 years old, because those are where the best breakouts will come from. I mean, the best XP gauge will come from. Let's just go with a Deuce Vaughn here, just for example. Let's just go with a Deuce Vaughn. You go down here and actually build him up, he is 16K. 16K plus to do things that you would normally do with any other running back. You hit 10 rushing touchdowns, 1,000 rushing yards season, and then on top of that, you go down here and you have, okay, so he basically has two. Some people only have two. Some people only has three. And if you break records here, you get some extra stuff. You get MVP award, you get that stuff, you get 30K. You know, you get a hell of a lot of XP. But if you go to somebody that's like 25, 26 years old type, so let's just go with a Rico Dowell who's 26 years old, and you look at his goals, he probably only got like 2K. It's because of age and because of overall. So another thing, I almost say this in like almost every video now. If you have somebody that's young of age that has that real good stats that you can build off of, because you know that you cannot get speed upgrades this year when you upgrade players. So that's why people with speed does get a bit higher in value. But if they are low in overall, they are going to be overlooked by people if you give them an ability, or if you give them a high overall player. So let's just say, for the sake of the video, it will be somebody like a Deron Bland. If a Deron Bland, who is here as an 88 overall, that literally can do everything, and he's a star, the people's like, oh, okay, I could just go ahead and get him up to an ability, that'd be fine. You could trade with somebody that isn't that good of an overall, but technically is the same thing as a Deron Bland. You get somebody else that's 90 speed, and that's possibly a little bit taller. You can find somebody 6'2", 90 speed that's kind of down here, like an Eli Ricks. You could build him up and make him the same, if not even better, than the person that you ended up getting there. And I just realized that I have my little strange stuff on here. That's my fault. But yeah, if you sit here and work out with that, there's no problem. You basically get back what you already given. You're building for the future, and you could possibly get better just by trading for something that doesn't even have that much value. You can just build them up. You'd be perfectly fine. And you could also finagle this as well. So how we just did that Trayvon trade, right? If you trade for somebody of an Eli Ricks, and then you trade for him with let's just say the N'Kobe Deans, and then you get picks on top of that, just give me picks and these players that I want to build up now. So now you're prepping for a future. And how that works is, you sit here and you see a certain spot that you feel like you need to be fixed. You realize you got a running back that you want to build up. You go ahead and ask somebody, like, let's just say like a trade package. Oh, I'm trying to trade Trayvon Diggs. What could I get from you? Get that cornerback back that you need right now from that team. Hence that Eli Ricks or something like that. And then you go and look at other positions that you would like to build up as well. I don't care if they have the same overall or less. If you know you're using them and that you know that you could get these goals and breakouts for them, make sure you go ahead and put them there. Like a Rico Dowell, Ezekiel Elliott. Like they're not gonna play for you. You might as well release them, get that extra cash, get certain players that's actually lower in salary and possibly has a long contract, and put in work with them. Or get somebody that has a 1-year contract, be like, oh, I'm not using them. Bring them in, re-sign them for 7 years for the basic minimum contract, and now you got somebody that's pretty much the cheapest X Factor you can ever give. So let's go all the way over here, and let's see if he's over here. I don't know if he's on his 1 year left, or is he actually got some... No, actually, no, he does got some years on him because he's a rookie. But let's just say that you had somebody like... Let's just say Israel Makakmu. He's... no, actually, I need somebody younger than that. Let's see. Anybody younger than that we can use an example. As a matter of fact, I think it might be easier if I just sign a free agent. So if I go here to free agency and I find somebody very, very particularly young that can help you out. Let's just say a Frank Gore Jr. I know not a lot of people will take a Frank Gore because of his speed. You know, he's 84 speed, but you get somebody as a Frank Gore. You bring him onto the team and you see that you can build him up. You see that, oh yeah, I'm going to use him. I'm going to sit here and make him into a player that's already going to be better than what I already have. Look at his goals. You do all that. You see, it's almost 20K for you to do something with somebody that you normally already have. And then let's see, anything else down here? No, that's it. So if you realize, yes, I'm going to use this man, I'm going to build him, build him up. This is an investment for the long run. You can sign him for 7 years and be perfectly fine. And this is a way to kind of save salary as well. You go over here to re-sign. You know that he has a 1 year on his contract. You go over to said Frank Gore Jr. If yes, here to a Frank Gore Jr. We're actually going to advance to week 3, so I can show you guys exactly what that will show you in re-sign. You go and keep building up these players, building up these players, building up these players. And as soon as you get the opportunity to sign them, to re-sign them, and you know that they're going to have that breakout, whether it's in the first week or it's within the second week, re-sign them for mad cheap. So now we are here at week 5. You go down here to re-sign. You go all the way over to the person that you've been building up this whole time. Where's he at? Oh, you know what? No. They probably released him because I didn't do the roster. Okay. So yeah, they probably did release him. Let's go on back over to that Frank Gore Jr. Yeah, they put him on a practice squad, so that's pretty much fine. So boom, we go ahead and sign him right back. And we go ahead back to the re-sign. You go ahead and re-sign him. Where's he at? Y'all trying to gatekeep my running back now, man? What's going on? But basically, all I'm trying to show y'all is if you could easily re-sign him for 7 years, possibly $3 million. 7 years, $3 million for an X Factor, right? And a lot of y'all will look at me and be like, that's not real. That's not true. That's not possible. Da 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 da. Well, if you release somebody like a Ezekiel Elliott, and then now you just saved cap on a running back and things of that nature, I go ahead and advance one more time. Possibly if I could get that to come up. You basically sign him when you're at this low of an overall. You can get him for pretty much cheap. I'm trying to see if he will pop up without me having to look for him. Yeah, he's not popping up. I don't know why. But yeah, if you re-sign him for 7 years, 2, 3, 4 mil, while he's at this low over overall, and then upgrade him after you finish the whole season, you get an X Factor for basically 3, 4 mil. And then as the only thing that you don't have to realize about a player is if you need to trade them and you need to redo that process all over again, it's mad cheap for you to trade them. There's nothing wrong with trading somebody that has a very low salary, because now you don't save money, but you don't lose money either. You basically save a whole bunch on your cap for somebody that's like nothing. Their salary don't go up. Their salary stays exactly the same how it is because now they're an X Factor. So that's pretty much a way to kind of save yourself salary, especially for all these X Factors and all these superstars that got all these high ass contracts. You get some of these guys that you build up now and you keep them at that low of a salary, everything will be fine. It's very, very simple. See, like you got somebody that is a Deron Bland type of salary that is 25 years old and he's a star. You look at his contract, it's literally almost nothing. It's 1 mil, 1.18 mil for somebody that as soon as you put an ability on him, he's way better than his salary. You get somebody that you build up that be a Deron Bland, you literally have almost like the cap hit is 1 mil. Like you could literally trade him, get with somebody else and rack up. You can have all this money to get people that you actually do need on a team, and you can rebuild the team mad easy. So rebuild. I mean, you can do that way in a way to trade. You look at value that you have on a team that other people will love. You get what you love. Everybody feel like that you got finesse out of it, but you really didn't. You really built for a future, and you really built up a player that you know is going to be the same, if not better. And then you keep repeating the cycle until you got that God squad. So now you got all these players on very low salaries, very low contracts, and they're basically the same players that you basically traded in before. I don't care if they're no names or not. They're going to be made a name after. I'm going to build them up. So if you guys like this, make sure you guys go ahead and leave a like. Comment down below some other stuff you guys like to see, and subscribe if you guys are new. We are so close to hitting 1K on the channel, and I appreciate each and everybody showing support and showing love on these videos, and hopefully you guys have a very good day. And as always, folks, peace out.